Scotland's Southwest Coastal 300, Episode 5, the final one. We left Govan in the morning after a really good night's sleep in the car park and headed on north towards Ayr and on up from there to Irvine, past Donald Trump's Turnbury golf course. Turnbury. Just past the end of the runway at Presley Airport, which is the only place that Elvis Presley ever stepped on British soil. On the 3rd of March 1960, he was on his way back to America, having finished his Army National Service, and he stopped over in Ayrshire for 2 hours, and that was it. He was on his way again, and he never came back. Well, the rest of the trip up to Irvine was pretty uneventful, nothing of particular interest, or at least not to us. And so we went on, got the extra external hard drive I needed to store all the very large files off the 360-degree camera, and then we started to head towards the east. And finally we started to climb into the Lotha Hills, where we had plans to stay in the car park of reputedly the highest residential hotel in Scotland. Well, we've just climbed to 1,000, just under 1,100 feet, and now we seem to be dropping down a little bit. So I don't know what elevation the village is going to be on. It'll be interesting to see when we get there. Just along here, we're going to stop at the Lead Mine Museum, and we're now up to almost 1,400 feet. The lead mine should be any moment now, I think. Oh, that looks like the village down there. Yeah, this is the village. The highest village in Scotland, 1,531 feet above sea level. Well, it looks like we're going to the museum first because narrow gauge railway is further along there. I'm hoping we're going to see that as well. Well, this is the Lead Mining Museum, and they do guided tours as well, but unfortunately I wouldn't be able to do a guided tour, so we're just going to go onto the narrow gauge railway place. Well, Mandy's gone to ask if we can stay in the car park hotel, or hotel car park, and the railway was closed. So what's the verdict?
Well, they're closed until 5 o'clock.
Oh.
There's nobody there to ask, and I can't see where to get to the car park.
So we're flummoxed.
You can always carry on to Metal Bridge.
Metal Bridge?
Yeah.
Why? That means go past Lockerbie and everything. Well, we can do. And you mean count this out altogether?
I'm going to ask this lady.
Oh, we didn't fancy spending the night there. It didn't look all that special. So we're bringing everything forward, and we're heading for Metal Bridge Inn, where there's a big car park we can stop tonight. And on the way there, we're going to pass through the little town of Lockerbie, where we started from. And this time we're going to actually pass through the town itself. So I think it's quite pretty. There's a very, very nice building with a tower on it there. And then down to Metal Bridge, which is back in England and not far from Carlisle. And then tomorrow we'll be 1 day ahead of time, so I don't know whether we'll just carry straight on or make a stopover somewhere on the way down. Well, this is the little town of Lockerbie, and just round the corner here, I really loved that tower. I fell in love with it the first time I saw it. And it's a nice little town with, as you know, sad history just on the outskirts. But anyway, we're just passing through this time on our way to Gretna Green via, I love the name of this place, Ecclefechan. And it's the birthplace of Thomas Carlyle, a famous or well-known philosopher who lived from 1795 until 1881 and died at the age of 85 years old. That's the end of Ecclefechan, and we're heading south towards the border with England and Gretna Green and the car park of the Metal Bridge Inn, where we now intend to stay the night. I hope that's alright, if we want a meal there. There ahead of us is the famous, and for some notorious, village of Gretna Green. And if anybody doesn't know what Gretna Green is famous for, let me know in the comments below, and I'll explain it to you. Turn right. The famous blacksmith shop. And finally we've reached the final stop of this trip, this little adventure, and unfortunately I damaged an SD card and lost a lot of video clips. But this is the car park at the Metal Bridge Inn. There are some facilities here like toilets, you can empty your waste, empty your chemical waste, and it's all for free provided you have a meal in the pub. Now we expected the meal to be expensive because of that. It wasn't. It was extremely good value and very good food. So I can highly recommend it. There's some showers here, but they're for the people who rent the pods, which you'll see in a few minutes. It's right close to the motorway, but we weren't disturbed by it at all, and that is the River Esk. They have these pods here as well that you can rent out or hire out, and they all face to the west, and they've all got little balconies in front of them, so in the evening time you can sit there, get the sunshine. And you might wonder why you would want to rent a pod in a place like this. Well, I've got some answers. Because just down the road one way to the south is Carlisle, which is an interesting town to look around. And you've got the railway, Carlisle to Settle Railway, which is one of the most scenic. And to the north you have Gretna. So on the whole, I can see some really good reasons for renting a pod like that. I'm just using this as a base because behind me we've got the Metal Bridge Inn with fabulous food, very reasonably priced. You've got facilities over here, you've got showers for the pods and toilets. You've got everything you want. So no, I think it would be a good place to rent a pod if you haven't got a motorhome or a caravan. What do we think of the trip as a whole? No, we're back in South Wales now, and Mandy, what's your thoughts on the Coastal 300 for the sake of other people who might like to try it?
I think it's worth doing, and there are some places that are really interesting, but for me personally it's not as spectacular as the Highlands. I mean, it's not going to be, is it?
No.
In particular, there seemed to be an awful lot more population, which is that's bound to be because you're near bigger towns. The towns are a lot closer together as well, which means again you haven't got the isolation that you have in other areas. There are some lovely beaches. My favourite spot, really, my favourite area was the Galloway Forest.
Yes, yeah, it was nice there.
Because of the dark skies.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that the weather wasn't really on our side. Otherwise, we could have had the telescope. I did take the telescope, and it would have been nice to have done some stargazing, but we didn't get the weather for it. So. No,
and we had that very steep hill.
Yeah, that was a bit. Yeah, that was steep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad I've done it. I wouldn't want to do it again.
No.
Because, quite frankly, I think if you're going to go that far, particularly from where we live in South Wales, if you're going to make the effort to drive all of that way, hours and hours worth of driving, then if you're going that far, push on for another couple of hours and get into the Highlands.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there were a couple of places like Port Patrick and Whithorn where we had that little confrontation.
Yeah, Whithorn was lovely,
yes.
apart from...
but the
thing is, the one man was a local, so okay, fair enough. Nobody wants to upset the locals. But the other one that was really quite aggressive, the one that came back afterwards...
The Grim Reaper.
Yeah, he didn't even live there. He was there on holiday. And the main thing with him was he was annoyed because he had a caravan, and because of that, he had to park on a caravan site because he couldn't park it anywhere else.
And it cost him £30 a night.
Yeah, and he was angry because he had to pay, whereas we didn't. That it was spitefulness.
Yeah,
it was nothing to do with taking parking space. It had nothing to do with that.
Anyway,
but it was a nice place.
I enjoyed this experience.
And I did.
But like I don't think I'd want to do it again.
No, definitely not. I found Girvan. It was a shame. The last time I went to Girvan, I was a child, and
I know it's on the video.
Is it? Oh, but I remember Girvan Beach from long ago as being lovely, unspoiled, clean. Whereas when we went there was quite a bit of litter, and some of the local kids were having a party on the beach and left all their beer cans lying around and.
Yeah. Anyway,
that was a shame.
Yes, and the car park arrangement was good anyway.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Fair play.
So to sum it up, yes or no to do it again?
No.
No. Okay. There's 2 no's. Bad luck.
2 no's. That's
Thumbs
it.
Down.
No more. No more.
Okay. Bye bye everybody.
Bye bye.
And thanks for watching.
Yeah, and bye bye from the dogs too. Tilly's gone to sleep. Luna's still
they can't
sleeping.
see Tilly. She's down there.
Oh.
Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more adventures in the future.